All right, what's up, everybody? Coach Willis here from Willis Performance Training, and I'm here with another very special guest, Miss Joanna Amstelveen. How are you doing? I got it right that time.
Yes, you did. Thank you. It's so good to be here. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for yours. And obviously, we have a lot going on in the world right now. Coronavirus and people being stuck inside and shutdowns happening. But I know my people, my clients, they're pretty familiar with who you are and what you do, but could you give us kind of a brief of who you are and what you do for those who might not know about Miss Joanna?
Sure. Well, I'm a registered dietitian and I am board certified in sports and performance. So I have a bachelor's and a master's in nutrition and dietetics. I did my internship through the Air Force. So I was active duty for 6 years. And during that time, I spent a lot of time in the hospital and also working with outpatients and a lot of athletes as well. And so I've got a lot of different experience working with kids as young as babies, all the way up to retired military. So just a wide spectrum of experience.
So I mean that you're a master pretty much. This is what you do. That's it. Just for the record, can you let everybody know where you did undergrad?
Yes, I did my undergrad with you at Florida International
What?
University.
That's
Yes,
right. FIU in the house representing Panther for life.
that's right.
Panther for life. So you talk, you specialize in, nutrition for athletes and, sports performance nutrition. What does sports performance nutrition look like for someone who might think that nutrition is just very general? What does that look like for an athlete versus the everyday person?
So for the athlete, there's really specific goals that you have. And so whenever it's working out or if it's a game or a meet, you want to make sure that you're fueled properly in order to perform at your best, right? So that's why you put in all the practice. And so with that practice, why wouldn't you want to eat to optimize your performance? And so it looks very different for someone who has a specific goal, like a football game, a basketball game, a track meet, a swim meet, something like that. There are foods, there are times, there are quantities that you can eat that will make you outperform your peers.
Makes perfect sense. And so I'm guessing that the more elite level that an athlete gets to, the more precision that their nutrition strategy has to be, correct?
Definitely. So the just like you said, if you're an elite athlete or you want to be an elite athlete, highly encourage that precision, that what we call nutrient timing. So timing what nutrients you're eating and when and in what quantities to make sure that you are really optimizing your performance. So you are getting the best out of you when you have that meet game or whatever it is.
For sure. And then, so how much does this vary throughout the different sports? So how should, like a sophomore in high school playing football eat versus a junior in high school cross country runner? Does it look the same? What similarities do they have? What are the differences? I mean, how does that dynamic change per sport?
Yeah, good question. So it's not the same across the board because each sport is going to have different requirements. So if you're, let's say, a cross country runner, you're looking at endurance. So you need something that's going to fuel you for a long period of time. You're maybe able to get something as you're running, some Gatorade, something to drink, but that's different than if you're playing football, where you're getting breaks, the offensive line, defensive line. You're coming on and off the field. You can get something to fuel you. You're getting some breaks. You're getting a chance to get some nutrition in you for that next set. So it's definitely different because you'll also notice that there's dietitians for different sports teams. So it can be difficult to go from one sport to the next. So even in being specialized in sports and performance, there might even be even more of a specialization by sport. So looking at baseball or looking at soccer, because they're totally different. And so it's really important to talk with someone that is familiar with your sport so that they can give you the best recommendation possible.
It makes sense. And then you talk about specialization as well. I mean, I know one thing as a strength coach, when I'm talking with whether that be my fitness clients or my athletes from different sports, when people typically ask questions about their nutrition, everybody wants like this one, blanket answer, like what should I be eating if I want to do this? Like everybody thinks in terms of meal plan. What type of meal plan should I be on? And when I'm prescribing workout programs to all my athletes, everything is pretty much individualized because there's so many different circumstances and conditions that you have to take into consideration when you're building a program for an athlete. Do you have athletes who might be the same chronological age, but physiologically they're in different stages of their athletic career, and so his program might look different from the person next to him. Is that the same principle that applies in nutrition too? I feel like nutrition should be individualized per person. So, I mean, maybe use some of the same principle, but the exact strategy could be different for everybody. I mean, how does that work?
Exactly. And so you want to meet somebody where they are, right? So if I sit down with everyone and I tell them, here's what you eat before you work out, during your workout, after you work out, but that person is not used to that, it's not very practical for them. So we got to start you off a little bit slower. Maybe let's just start you off with the foundation of getting something that you eat after you work out. Just start there. Just start with the recovery part of it, so that at least after your workout, you're optimizing that recovery. The work that you're putting in at the gym to build that strength, I can solidify that afterwards in the recovery. Once you get that down, find the foods that you like, the recovery items that you enjoy, then we'll take a look at, before your workout, and then we'll take a look at during your workout if you need anything. And so it takes time to do that. I could definitely write a plan for someone, morning until night, including their practices and their trainings. But if they're not going to stick to it, it's not very useful. And so I kind of liken nutrition to athletic performance and working out. You don't just go to the gym one time and call yourself fit. You can't just see me one time and say, oh, I've worked with a dietitian and I'm good. So it really doesn't work like that if you want to see the maximum results. It's something that does happen over time, and it is something that's very individualized.
I mean, it makes perfect sense to me, and I think that's good for people to know. I mean, because again, everybody when they think nutrition, they think, okay, one size fits all. What is the best diet that I should be on type deal. But it's good to know that everybody is different, and every different situations and different programs are going to fit different people in different ways. So that's really cool. Um, and my next question. So back to this whole coronavirus thing going on. Everybody is pretty much, stuck at home. Everybody's home right now. You can go to the grocery store and, this and that. Um, how do you think that this situation will kind of change the structure of people's eating habits now? Like, what do you see happening for people with this situation?
So I think there's good and there's bad to it. I kind of like the fact that people are being forced to cook at home. So typically when you cook at home, you eat healthier than when you're eating out. So that part of it is good. I know you can still pick up things. You can still pick up fast food and takeout and all of that. I'm assuming that people aren't doing that as much just because they're told not to go out. So the fact that people are probably cooking at home more is a good thing. However, when I do go to the grocery store, I still do see all of the junk food gone. And so that tells me that it's in people's homes. And so while you're at home and you're kind of bored or you're binging on Netflix or Hulu, you might be doing some of that mindless eating, having that junk food. Those kind of things are a little bit discouraging. So I would say those are the cons to the virus, not to mention that people are probably not getting outside as much. And so one of the things I would encourage you to do is go for walks, get out in nature, get that vitamin D, because it's not only good for your immune system, but it's also good for just your overall health. And a lot of people are deficient. Right now it's been a little bit sunny. So anytime you can get outside, I would say definitely do that. Get that fresh air. It's so good for you. So yeah, I would say there's good and there's bad things to the virus. It's hard to buy fresh produce because you want to limit the amount of time the frequency of going to the store. And so sometimes it can be difficult to keep that in your fridge. So looking into options that are frozen fruits, frozen vegetables, that don't have any kind of syrups or sauces to add extra sodium and calories and fat that you just don't need. So having a few of those on hand is good too, so that you're still able to get fruits and vegetables as you normally would. So.
Well, just having that conversation actually made me legit hungry, and I know I'm about to throw down after this. But so still on the topic of getting sick and the virus and everything that's happening right now, as we go through the news headlines and we go through social media and people's different opinions on things and what's going on as far as finding a vaccine, you see a lot of the immediate preventative things like obviously washing your hands and sanitizer and social distancing and coughing into your elbow and disinfecting and all of this stuff, which is obviously a necessary component to what's going on right now. But what you don't see right now, at least, is you don't see a lot of people talking about how can nutrition help the situation, or how could good nutrition in the first place not necessarily prevent you from getting sick, but at least strengthen your response that you have to these viruses. What types of foods or what types of practices should people be doing nutritionally to kind of help them with getting sick or while they're sick? So is there anything that they should be focused on eating, or what do you have?
So
What
in general, yeah, in general, you definitely want to stay hydrated. So drinking enough water is really important. Um, Getting those fruits and vegetables in, because not only do they have vitamin C, but they also have antioxidants. And oxidative stress are some of those things that not only cause aging, but some of those other diseases that you see, more so chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease and things like that. But just having a lot of antioxidants in your system makes you strong in general. Not only that, having a strong immune system, it starts with a healthy gut. And so putting foods like vegetables, like your probiotics in your gut to make sure that you have a good immune system in there, and then feeding the gut with the fruits and vegetables and the fibers and all of that is how you maintain that. And not consuming things like added sugars and all of that, like junk food, that can really impact how your immune system affects you and how it helps you. If you're eating a lot of that added sugar and you're eating a lot of those foods that are just not really helping your gut, then it can't really fight for you. So you really want to feed your gut fruits and vegetables essentially, but a lot of probiotics too. So like I said, the yogurt, some people eat things like sauerkraut, tempeh, even cucumbers are great as far as foods that provide those probiotics as well. So start with a healthy gut. Over 70% of your immune system is found in your gut. And so you want to treat it well because it's going to be fighting for you. So I would say start there.
Great to know. That's great to know. So if we're asking Joanna, like, what is Joanna's basic? What is her philosophy in terms of just a solid? I'm not coming up with an eating plan for someone just now, but what are the pillars that Joanna goes by in terms of nutrition? Is it like what, reduce sugars, go by water? Like if you're giving someone some basic advice on what they or how they should be eating, what would that be?
So if you can, I would say the less processed, the better. That is like the first place to start. Because if you're buying things that are not processed, if you're buying things that you have to make at home, if you're buying things that do not come in a box, do not come in a bag, chances are you're off to a really good head start because you're getting rid of all of the additives, all the artificial colors, all of that trans fat. That's out of your diet if you're eating a whole foods diet. And so I would say, definitely start there because that's going to also eliminate a lot of that sugar too, because you don't have that if your food's not processed. So you add your own sugar, right? If you make oatmeal that's not from the packet, if you want sugar, you're adding sugar or you're adding honey or you're adding fruit. You're not buying it with the sugar in there. And so if you can just start by decreasing the amount of processed foods that you're getting, that in itself is an improvement.
Absolutely. It sounds simple enough, but not easy to do for a lot of people.
Right.
No one's perfect. I
Yeah.
know there's probably like so many things we can go on and talk about, which maybe hopefully we can do something like weekly and cover stuff base by base to really help. Because I mean, nutrition is such a multifaceted, segment in everyone's life, and there's no way in just 15 minutes we can cover it all.
Right.
But if someone is trying to get in touch with Joanna Amstelveen, how do they do that? Where can they find more information? Is there email, phone number? How do people get in touch with you?
Sure. So email is always an option, joanna.amstelveen.1. So that's joanna.amstelveen.1 Or you can send me a text. My phone number is 904-472-4279. So that's pretty much the easiest way to get in touch with me. I respond pretty quickly. And so if anyone has questions or just has comments or anything like that, I'm more than happy to respond and engage. I enjoy that.
Well, Joanna, thank you so much, not only for your time, but for the past help that you've done for the work that you've done for my clients and helping us learn more about, the nutritional measures and my athletes, my regular clients, my fitness, and the blog posts and videos and stuff that you do. We're very, very grateful for it. And again, hopefully this is something that we can do, especially in a time like this where we can just keep, iterating to people how important it is to eat despite the circumstance. There's always a way to eat good, if not more than ever right now. So, but thank you so much for your time, Joanna.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing me on and helping in our mission, right? To just make the world a healthier place. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Until next time, you have a good one. Enjoy the North Carolina sun.
All right. Bye.
Bye, Joanna.